So let's just kind of run down kind of what we know from Andor. So one, we got the release date, April 22nd, 2025.
It's been good.
We'll have that in April, and it's 12 episodes. They've got to like do some kind of like multiple episodes together at some point for this. I would be shocked if they go 3 straight months of Andor. I would be really surprised if they did that. But either way, we're going to have like 12 weeks of that because it's 12 episodes. And so each 10 to 12 weeks, then every 3 episodes is its own arc, similar to the first one. Is that how they did that in season 1, or was it 4 episode arcs?
It wasn't quite as neat. I mean, some of them kind of blended into each other, but there were roughly...
the end, there's only 2 episodes after the One Way Out, right?
Yeah, the prison and the Planet Riot episode, they kind of run together in a way.
Like a 6
because he breaks out and it kind of runs right into that.
Yeah. So either way, this one's going to be very neatly packaged. With the timeline, it's so interesting. So it's going to go 4 3-episode arcs, and then each arc jumps forward a year in Cassian's life. So we're going to cover 4 years over the course of this story, and we're going to end where Rogue One picks up.
Yeah, and that's cool. I mean, it's a pretty gutsy way to organize your plot, because I feel like you got to really if you're going to jump forward a year, you got to really make sure that they all feel different, right? Like, I think that's the challenge, is if you're going to jump forward a year, you want to feel like something's happened. Things have passed, things have changed. And so I do think that'll be a challenge is between each of those arcs to make it feel like things are different. Things have changed, things have passed. And so I'm optimistic, but I think that could be a really cool thing by the end of it to see quickly in 12 episodes, this progression of 4 years. Could be really cool.
Well, I'm just thinking about that. Like, so you're going to have that. But the one thing Andor always gets kind of the benefit of that other Star Wars shows don't seem to get is every episode is pretty long. So like when you're getting those
it's
3 episodes, it probably is going to be like, say, Ahsoka or Mandalorian, for sure the Acolyte. Like, you're probably getting 1.5 episodes per, like, for how it goes. So they typically go in that 45-minute range. So I think they can kind of let these stories breathe a little bit when you're getting an extra, essentially 1.5 episodes to tell this arc each time, because these 12 episodes will essentially be like an 18-episode series.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's really interesting to me because Disney's obviously seen some value in trying this, right? And they are, like you said, they're giving Andor the benefit of the doubt. I'm curious. I know it hasn't been the highest streamed show. I think it's been probably the most critically well received.
So I was going to say, it's
pretty safe
acclaimed
to say. But I'm curious if they view this as a success, right? And is this something that they're willing to try with other shows? Because I would love to see little bit lengthier episodes in some of these shows going forward that allow them to do a little bit more, because it's hard with short episodes to really develop things. You got to really pace it right, and it really shows when pacing is off. So I'd be curious as if Disney feels like this is worth gambling on going forward, because Andor definitely benefited from it. I mean, being able to develop some plot lines and stories.
The director, though.
I mean, he had a vision. I mean, he had a very clear cut.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting to me, and I hope that it pushes them to investigate into that a little bit further, because I think it could be good for a lot of Star Wars going forward, is to allow breathing room for some of your plot points to grow and mature, and not necessarily feel like, all right, how do we cram this plot point and this character development and this cliffhanger for next week into 35-40 minutes,
all into maybe 27 minutes with credits.
I mean, that's tough. So I'm curious about that.
I think too, I don't think the Andor story that they're telling would have worked in that short format the way all the rest of it does anyways. Like, because from what I understand, the director, what's the guy's name? The director, is it Gareth Edwards? Is that right?
No, that was the Rogue One guy.
Google.
Yeah, I can't think what it is right now. Man,
It
I know you're looking it up.
is Toby Haynes.
No, I don't think that's it.
Hold on, I've got
What is his
all
name?
of the information
Yeah,
here.
you find
Tony
it.
Gilroy.
Gilroy, yes, that's his
Gilroy.
name. There
So
you go.
yeah, Tony Gilroy, I want to say, came like to the table with Disney and was like,
Yeah,
I need 2 seasons, 12 episodes each. I can get this whole story in. And they were like, yeah, let's do it. And I mean, honestly, why not? Like Rogue One was so good. So why would you not do it? Like I feel like he has the receipts to bring to the table and be like, we can
yeah,
make a great story. As to where, not that John Favreau doesn't and Dave Filoni, they don't have that, but like, every project they were doing was its own kind of brand new thing. And
yeah,
Andor kind of proven $1 billion asset at the box office. So
yeah,
I think there's a lot that kind of goes into why Andor
yeah,
ended up the way it was. But man, they got a killer budget for it too.
yeah, yeah. And the filming on location. I mean, you
So
can tell
nice.
it looks so good. So
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. I don't honestly, I don't have any predictions for it. I was just on YouTube trying to look at this because I know there's like a little bit of clip for this um, out there now, but it's not its own trailer. It's like all weaved into this Disney Plus coming in 2025 trailer. So I
yeah,
won't show that because it's got a lot of stuff. But I'm not sure if you saw it or not. You get a lot of Imperial settings. You get that speech, like, who's going to lead, things like that. You
yeah.
got Luthen talking. And then also you see, I think it's K2 there. I'm assuming.
It is a security droid, right?
Yeah.
So, and
And
the
they've
way it's
already said,
prominently shown, it kind of feels
yeah.
like K2.
Well, I feel like they've said K2's in this season anyway. So I feel like why'd you
Have
not?
you seen that shot where it looks like Cassian's in like a interceptor or something?
Yes, the
That
TIE
looks cool.
Interceptor.
Yeah,
Yeah. I have
that
that
looks really
Lego.
cool. Yeah, and I think they got to be careful too, because I think that was one of the really cruxes of the story in season one was the building of the tension, right? Like you can't give away too much, otherwise you can't rely on that tension that you're building that builds into whatever resolution you have. So
Yeah.
I expect them to not give away much at all. I expect it'll be sparse, much like season one was sparse. I don't think any of us had any big idea of plot points going into season one. Um,
No.
so
And to be
I
honest,
expect the
though,
same.
while Andor is the best story that they're telling, like even though it's not my favorite show, again, it's
Sure.
probably the best one they're putting together. Um, is it like a juicy rumor thing, anyways, just in and of itself? Like for the time period it
Yeah.
is, it is what it is, and you know what it's leading up to. So
Yeah.
is it like, oh, we're gonna see Darth Vader in the Bad Batch, or we're gonna see Anakin in Ahsoka, or is Plagueis gonna show up in the Acolyte? Right? Like that's not what Andor is. You know
Yeah.
where it's going. So the main talk is like, oh, will we see the Emperor in the Senate chambers? Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's
No, you're
some
right.
juicy stuff.
That's a good point. It's very, there's different types of storytelling investment, right? You can invest
Yeah,
in lore development and things like that, but this is really more of just it's the characters, right? Like
yeah,
nothing. I doubt they're going to change anything drastic that's going to make us go, wait, what happened during this time period, right?
yeah,
We
yeah.
know, right? We know where it goes, where it leads. This is 100% centered on Cassie and the people around him. Which is cool because it is very different from a lot of other Star Wars, which is this kind of this balance between the characters and the larger picture, whereas this is really
Yes.
zoomed in now. So it's a different take, it's a different investment, it's a lot more stress and anxiety inducing as a watcher. But
Yeah, the pacing is perfect. It's got the
yeah,
drama. It's got everything. So no, I'm with you there. Now, for Andor as well, that's a little bit
yeah,
different. Like Mandalorian, I think kind of what you were getting at is it's almost turned into like this Avengers type thing where it was really focused on Mando, and now it's just kind of all over the place. I think Ahsoka might start to rein in a little bit now that they've got her by herself. But Andor kind of is the standard bearer of this genre of Star Wars, which is it's a cool thing. Like it's just super character focused, and I think I like it.
yeah. Man, you're right. Mando's kind of become a bigger thing than just the character in a lot of ways.
Right.
The show has, but it would be. Yeah, I like the idea of Ahsoka and Sabine kind of become. I mean, you'll still have obviously the way it looks like they're taking it, there's going to be a lot of lore built into whatever they're doing.
Of it, yeah.
But it does leave a lot of space without a lot of that other stuff to balance that's been going on, right, with Mando in the original galaxy. You don't have to balance that right now. And so you really kind of focus in on those characters. Could be a really good balance between the two. I hadn't thought about that.
I think so. So I
would
honestly,
like that.
April can't get here fast enough. You don't want time to be like just wishing it all by, but I do think having something to talk about for as long as it's going to be, and it's going to be very interesting story points. It's just going to be different than like when we're talking Bad Batch or when we're talking Acolyte or Ahsoka or anything like that, which I enjoy all that.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a different feel, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.